So, let's go. I'm going to ask you few pop quiz questions and you have to answer. And if you don't, you can just close your eyes and fall asleep because that's okay too. I know you've been tired, so let's move on straight into the quiz. Question number 1. Which bird is the only bird capable of flying backwards? Which bird is the only bird capable of flying backwards? I will let you think about it, and it is the hummingbird. The hummingbird, yes, because it's doing. No, he's not doing that. He's taking. And their unique wing structure allows them to rotate their wings and figure 8 pattern, figure 8, enabling them to hover and fly backwards, which is very cool. And they have to sip nectar a lot, tip, 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 all the time, so they don't get tired. They are on that high fructose diet. Next one. In the game of bingo, that's a bingo, in the name of Game Bingo, what number is represented by the phrase 2 little ducks? So what numbers? Just think about numbers. Think about them. Which number looks a little bit like a duck? Not Donald the Duck. Not Donald the Duck in that 1940s cartoon. When we are at That's a Bingo, if you know from what movie is that and which character says that, let me know down in the comments if you are so knowledgeable of modern movies. And it's so 2 little ducks, and it's of course, I will write that for you after alpha, but we don't need alpha, and it's 22 because it looks like a duck and duck. Isn't that interesting? The game slang is always nice for card slang, and we have game called mariage. I don't know if you have that in Germany, France maybe, and they have thousands of different ways to say the combination of cards. It's so crazy. Next one. Which country has the longest coastline in the world? Which country has the longest coastline in the world? This is a little geography question. And it's the country that I once said, the only country that I would not want to visit if I couldn't. And people said that's a wild guess. I said it on my live stream, live option, and it's Canada. Canada's coastline stretches for 202,880 kilometers, which is in freedom units, in oil conquering units, 125,567 miles. That's a long coastline. I love Canada. Canada is great, but if you go to America as somebody from poor country, as Czechia, we are not that poor, but comparatively, you want to go to USA. Next one. What does the www stand for in a website browser? What does www mean? And you don't really have to write it anymore. You can probably, but you are really supposed to not to do that. But when I was younger, when I was cute boy that many girls were attracted to, which isn't the case anymore, Now I prefer women though, just to be sure, you know. Don't ban it. You had to write it. And now it's www. And it's World Wide Web. World Wide Web. Because it's the web spreading over the whole world. It was invented by Tim Berners-Lee in 1989. Tim Berners-Lee. Interesting. How many hearts does octopus have? One octopus, two octopuses, or octopi, octopi. So how many hearts does one octopus have? Do we know some famous octopus? No. Like Squidward is not octopus, it's squid. That's different, isn't it? Like squid in Minecraft is squid, that's not octopus. That's different. But octopus has 3 hearts. 2 hearts pump blood to the gills, while a third circulates it to the rest of the body. That's smart. Like many, I was just reading something about evolution, and the most smart animals that are in the water were once on shore, and then they crawled back because they were like, fuck that, we are not staying there. With those apes, probably, no, apes were not developed by that time, but they just said, no, let's go back. Which is like dolphins, for example. Question. Which nut is used to make marzipan? Which nut is used to make marzipan? I love marzipan. I'll take that marzipan. I won't eat marzipan. And it's so what nuts we have? Walnuts, cashew, like just normal nuts. I was watching this guy that wants to live to 120 years, and he said sauna is very good for you. So all Finnish people now rejoicing, but you have to put ice on your nuts because it lowers fertility. So maybe one day I will build a sauna with like the nut cooling, thing. Like anybody who's watching this video right now is saying like, what the fuck did I sign up to? Subscribe, we welcome you. We are all weird. So it's almonds. Marzipan is confection. It's a confection. That sounds like infection. Consisting primarily of sugar and honey and almond meal. Okay. Next one. This one is easy. Who painted a Mona Lisa? Fun fact, the guy who painted that, which you know is Leonardo da Vinci. He was like big procrastinator because all creative people are. And it was some guy ordered his wife to get painted by him, and he meanwhile traveled to France. Yeah, I think France, because King wanted him to do something, and he finished it in France and gave it to the king, I think, or some prince or somebody, or some higher duchy man. So he just gave portrait of somebody else's wife to a king, and now it's the biggest, most valued painting in the least secure museum in the world. It hangs in the Louvre Museum in Paris and is arguably arguably the most famous painting in the world. It's like known because it was stolen and stuff like that. It adds the value. What is the chemical symbol for gold? Gold. In Czech, it means if somebody like pricks you, like does harm to you, that's what you are going to say. Like in English, you usually say, you say similar. In English, you say ouch. In Czech, you say ow, ow. That's another fascinating thing. Like we all say, like if you are thinking, you sometimes say like Every language and every region says it differently, so you really get that subconsciously from your parents. I really had to fight that when I started recording, and it's A-U, ow. It comes from the Latin word for gold, aurum, 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 aurum. Okay, next one. In which city would you find the Colosseum? In which city would you find the Colosseum? ASMR Berlin and Emma's MySpace might have a fight there soon. I didn't watch that yet, but I saw the trailer. Very cool. Very weird. Me-like. So, maybe if they want to fight me too, I'm like, that would be like very, very violent thing. Like, no. And Rome, Italy, capital of Italy, Rome. It was the largest amphitheater ever built at the time and could hold an estimated 50,000 to 80,000 spectators to see getting people mauled by lions and elephants. Did they have? Yeah, they probably have elephants when they got it from Asia. Hannibal got them there. Which planet is known as the Red Planet? Which planet is known as the Red Planet? It's the favorite planet of Elon Musk. The favorite planet of Elon Musk. And it's Mars. Mars. The reddish appearance is due to iron oxide, or called rust, not the game, prevalent on its surface. Round 2, next 10 questions. History and geography. Which war is recorded to be the shortest war in history? Which war is recorded to be the shortest war in history? The shortest war. And it's the Anglo-Zanzibar War in 1896. It lasted between 38 to 45 minutes before Zanzibar surrendered to British forces. Yeah, they were probably very surprised by the technology. It's like when you play like Civilization and you go against someone who is like 80 decks behind. It happens. It happened a lot. For example, in America. What is the capital city of Australia? Oh, fellow Aussies. Do they call you Aussies? Hey mate, appreciate. I rate 8 out of 8. Great mate. So what is your capital city? And what is capital city of this country? Not New Zealand. Nobody counts New Zealand. We count Australia. No, New Zealand. I would like to visit New Zealand. That might be cool. That must be cool. It's Canberra. Many people guess Sydney or Melbourne, but Canberra was chosen as the capital in 1908 as a compromise between the two rivals. That's good. Like you have two rivals, so you pick somebody third. And they're like, well, that sucks. Capital is like big advantage to be capital. There's lots of like jobs and stuff. So that's a nice compromise. Next, who was the first man to step on the moon? If you believe in moon landing. So who was the first man to step on the moon? It was Neil Armstrong. It wasn't Louis Armstrong. Like there's, I'm on the moon. Please help. Like how they were. That's the meme. Or it's not a meme, it's just some girl thinking that how they could be on the moon when you can hold breath only for 3 minutes or something. He took his famous small step on July 20, 1969. Nice. During the Apollo 11 mission. Big step. It was kind of huge. It's scientific victory in Civilization 5, so it's huge. Which is the only flag in the world that is not rectangular or square. You know that. You are nerds. So which flag is not rectangular or square? Only one. It has a weird shape. Very Christmassy shape, actually. And it's the flag of Nepal. It consists of 2 stacked triangles representing the Himalayan mountains and the 2 major religions of the nation, Hinduism and Buddhism. In what year did the Titanic sink? Titanic. I never knew how to pronounce that in English. We call it Titanic. I will call it Titanic. Like he could fit on the door. Like he could fit. Leonardo DiCaprio could fit on the door. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise. It was in 1912. It struck an iceberg on its maiden voyage and sank into the North Atlantic Ocean on April 15th, 1912. That sucks. Which modern day country was known as Rhodesia? We are again at Leonardo DiCaprio. From which movie is that? I don't know. You can tell me in the comments again. No. I'm not from that country. I'm from Rhodesia. And now imagine like blinking images of Rhodesia edit. I don't know. I saw way too many. Well, like one too many. And it's Zimbabwe. The name was changed to Zimbabwe upon the country formally gaining independence in 1980. It worked very well, I have to say, for Zimbabweans. No. Number 17 was the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. First female Prime Minister. The lady is not for turning. I know that one. I don't know that many more. It was Margaret Thatcher. She served from 1979 to 1990 and was known as the Iron Lady. Yeah, well, big figures. That was war of the... How do you call that island in Argentina? I can't remember. Let me know. I know that. I know that, but I cannot remember because it's too late and my calories are very low. So I'm dumb. Question 18. What represents the in the Roman numeral system, what represents the M? M. In the Roman numeral system. So what number it represents? It's 1000. 1000. It stands for mille, the Latin word for 1000. Good to know. Which US state was purchased from Russia in 1867? Which Russian state was purchased? What US state was purchased from Russia in 1867? Did I say it right? 1867. It was, of course, Alaskan purchase. It was purchased for 7.2 million, a deal initially mocked as Seward's Folly. Seward's Folly. Interesting. Alaskan purchase. Like it was like Russians knew that they cannot control it. And there was like nothing. Soon they knew that there is lots of oil. What is the largest desert in the world? What is the largest desert in the world? That's interesting. I didn't know that one. The Antarctic desert. The source says the Antarctic. It makes sense. A desert is defined by low precipitation, not heat. Antarctica is the largest, followed by Arctic, with the Sahara coming in third. It's right. It's right. Largest desert. Round 3, entertainment, movies, music, and books. Who wrote the Harry Potter series? The name of the Harry Potter series author. Who was that? It was J.K. Rowling. I'm doing a rowing every day. And she's rowling. I don't know what that means. The first book, Philosopher's Stone, was published in 1997. Wow, I was 5 years old. Well, I probably read it when I was like 7, 8, when it was translated to Czech. I don't know. What is the highest grossing film of all time? Which film made the most money? Ka-ching. It was Avatar. Now they are making another one. A directed by James Cameron. He made Titanic 2, I think. It briefly lost the spot to Avengers Endgame, but regained it after re-release in China. So Avengers Endgame. Well, Marvel wasn't the same after Endgame. It went like downhill. Oh well. Which band was Freddie Mercury the lead singer of? One of the greatest. So which band he was singer of? It was Queen. He is regarded as one of the greatest singers in the history of rock music. He is. And Queen, the music, it still holds. In the TV show Friends, what is the name of the coffee shop where the characters hang out? In the show Friends, what is the name of the coffee shop where the characters hang out? In its Central Park, not park, but park. The name is play on Central Park and the parking of coffee. Central Park. I didn't watch that many Friends. Like I watched them when they ran on TV, but I didn't have TV since I was like 12. I preferred computer, playing games and studying. who played the character of Jack Dawson in the movie Titanic. I already told you that. I did a little oopsie and told you that, but who was that? He dates only women under 25. It's Leonardo DiCaprio. His role catapulted him into international heartthrob superstardom. Now he films with Tarantino a lot. What is the best-selling album of all time? What's the best-selling album of all time? Another by another great person. Not great person. Not really great person. Great singer. Great singer. It's like, no, I'm not going to say that. And it's Thriller by Michael Jackson. Released in 1982, it was sold an estimated 70 million copies worldwide. Now nobody buys music, everybody just streams it. Which fictional city is the home of Batman? I'm Batman. I'm Batman. And I came to beat you up because I lost my parents and I have daddy and mommy issues. So what was that? What city is that? It's not New York. It may be in near future, but it's Gotham City. Is traditionally depicted as being located in the US state of New Jersey. Okay. To be or not to be is a quote from which Shakespeare play? My skull is too far away. I cannot reach for it. So, to be or not to be is a quote from which Shakespeare play? And it's from Hamlet. It is the opening phrase of a soliloquy given by Prince Hamlet in the so-called nunnery scene. Which video game character is known for eating power pellets and being chased by ghosts? Which video game character is known for eating power pellets and being chased by ghosts? And it's Pac-Man. Released in 1980, the ghosts are named Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. I didn't know that. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. The ghosts are named Pinky, Blinky, Inky, and Clyde. That's very ASMR-ish. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Blinky, Pinky, Inky, and Clyde. Number 30. Who is the author of The Lord of the Rings? Who is the author of The Lord of the Rings? And it's J.R.R. Tolkien. He was an English writer and theologist who created an entire language Elvish for his book. Wait, Tolkien is dead? No, he's not dead. Or is he? Do I think about somebody else? Let me know if he's dead in the comments. Next round. Science and nature. What is the hardest natural substance on Earth? What is the hardest natural substance on Earth? Natural. But I don't think there is like any artificial hard. Maybe there is. It's diamond. It's what you mine for at levels. I think now it's like -50 or something. The diamonds are formed from carbon under extreme pressure and heat deep within the earth. I don't get why through my 20s I didn't become a diamond. How many bones are in the adult human body? Normal one. How many bones are in the adult human body? 206. 206. But babies are born with about 270 bones. But some fuse together as the body grows. Like, for example, fontanella, I think it's called on. I studied this for 6 years in medical school before I got kicked out, so I remember some stuff. But it's. Maybe I should do anatomy ASMR, that would be interesting. I would cry. Which blood type is known as the universal donor? Which blood type is known as universal donor? It's O negative. Negative ASMR. O negative or zero negative. Somebody calls it O, we call it zero. O negative blood can be used in transfusion for any blood type. Yeah, but you have to check the R. There is O plus, O minus, RG, RH factor and stuff like that. What is the largest mammal in the world? The largest mammal in the world. And it's the blue whale. The blue whale. The blue whale. Their tongues alone can weigh as much as an elephant, and their hearts as much as an automobile. They are huge. They are, because they are in water, you know. It makes everything buoyant. Beyonce. What gas do plants absorb from the atmosphere for photosynthesis? What gas do plants absorb from the atmosphere for photosynthesis? And it's what they say about all the time. CO2, carbon dioxide. They use sunlight to convert CO2 and water into glucose and oxygen. They create oxygen that we breathe. At what temperature are Celsius and Fahrenheit equal? At what temperatures are Celsius the great, normal, intelligent way to divide temperatures into something that's very good, and Fahrenheit, the mental illness masquerading as a scientific physical value when they are equal, and it's at minus 40 degrees. So minus 40 degrees Celsius is minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Makes sense. This is the intersection point where the two scales converge. Yeah, like what would be nice to like say 0 is, I don't know, when water freezes, and 100 when water boils, and just divide it by 100 and make everything by that. It's very easy. We boil a lot of water. Like that's interesting. Like I wanted to make that meme, like create a meme that you have like fire and boiling water, and there's like iPhone something, and you have a nuclear reactor, and we are still boiling water to make electricity. It's like iPhone Pro Max Ultra Super, but it's still boiling water. We are experts at boiling water. We are boiling water professionals. Deep thoughts for sleep. What is the name of the galaxy that contains our solar system? The whole galaxy that contains our solar system. Just a small part. It's the Milky Way. Milky Way, so not for anybody who is lactose intolerant. It is Bart spiral galaxy, estimated to contain 100 to 400 billion stars, and we are just one small planet that developed intelligent life and somehow ended up with Czech guy whispering to microphone trivia questions for other people from the whole world to sleep in. mangoes, bananas, are berries. So are bananas, berries. The cars at 11 p.m. I love it. They are true. They are berries. Botanically speaking, a berry is a fruit produced from the ovary of a single flower with seeds inside the flesh. Strawberries, ironically, are not true berries. Strawberries are not berries. Yeah. Question 39. Which element is the most abundant in the universe? Which element is the most abundant? That's obvious. It's the simplest one. It's the hydrogen. Hydrogen, it's one. It's the easiest. It makes up 75% of the universe's elemental mass. And if you fuse them, you get helium. And if you fuse them, you get. We can look at the chemical table. We should do that. What part of the brain controls balance and coordination? What part of the brain controls balance and coordination? And it's the cerebellum. So basically there, back there, and then you have medulla oblongata out of that, which also controls many stuff. Like if you touch a stove, the neural path goes to medulla oblongata that immediately says like you have to take that shit off. You do that and then you realize you did that. You do this before you think about it. You are not like putting it and now will I take it off? No, you put it and instinctively go away. So that's made in the medulla oblongata immediately. And then you have cerebellum that controls like your balance, and then you have brain. That's another interesting stuff. It is located at the back of the brain, near the brainstem. Yeah. Next we have random trivia. So, in a standard deck of cards, which king is the only one without a mustache? In standard deck of cards, which king doesn't have mustache? They all have like mustache. Is my hair looking good? Am I like sexy? No. Sadly. And it's King of Hearts. He's often referred to as a suicide king because he appears to be sticking his sword into his head. Yeah. Interesting. Hopefully this is not going to get banned. Which company's logo features a bitten apple? That's a tricky question. It's Apple Inc. with Tim Apple as their CEO. No, it's Tim Cook. Designer Job Jenov added the bite so people wouldn't mistake the apple for a cherry. Interesting, but you can eat cherry too. How many squares are there on a standard chessboard? How many squares are on standard chessboard? Quick maths, something to the power of 2, and it's 64. There are 8 rows, 8 columns of alternating black and white squares. What is the national animal of Scotland? What is the national animal of Scotland? So all Scots. What is your national animal? And it's the unicorn. The unicorn. In Celtic mythology, the unicorn was a symbol of purity and innocence, as well as masculinity and power. My Little Pony ruined that. 45. Which cocktail consists of vodka, tomato juice, and various spices? So tomato juice is Bloody Mary. That's bloody lovely, isn't it? It is famously touted as a hair of the dog cure for hangovers. So Bloody Mary is cure for hangovers. I was never drunk, so I don't know. What does the acronym NASA stand for? What does NASA? Is it NASA? NASA. It's National Aeronautics and Space Administration. National Aeronautics and Space Administration. It was established in 1958, succeeding the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, NACA, NACA. Which country produces the most coffee in the world? So which country produces the most coffee in the world? And it's Brazil. Yeah, Brazilian coffee, it's very well known. I don't drink coffee either. I just hate living. Brazil has been the world's largest coffee producer for over 150 years. How many rings are on the Olympic flag? How many rings are there? And do you know the colors? They are 5: blue, yellow, black, green and red. At least one of these colors appears in the flag of every nation at the time the ring was designed. Interesting. I thought it meant like continents, but that doesn't make sense because there's only like 5. Yeah. I don't know. Okay. What is the currency of Japan? So for all the Veeps, yeah, I have even a question for Veeps. The Veeps, tell me, what is the currency of Japan? And it's the yen. It is the third most traded currency in the foreign exchange market after the US dollar and the euro. And the last easy question. Fe is the chemical symbol for which element? Fe. And it's for iron. It means ferrum in Latin. So I hope you enjoyed the quiz. If you did, definitely subscribe. Check my short, check my other content too. If you like this style, and tell me if you like more quizzes. You can write me down a topic that you would like to do quiz on. Nowadays there are plenty of quizzes online. I bought some books, so I can use that probably. Nowadays there are like AIs that are smarter than me, so they can fact check anything. Any crazy ideas in this head that cannot sleep, and yeah, we can do many of these videos if you want. So let me know the topics that you would like videos on. Let me know anything, your problems, your desires, what you wrote, Ježíšek or Santa too, or Deda Mraz, or I don't know what, Grandpa Mraz. And I will see you in the next one. Good night.